All right. Hi, Crisley. How are you doing?
I'm fine. And you?
It's
Just a
pretty
little
early in the
nervous.
morning for you, I guess.
Yeah. Not so much, but yeah.
It's like 11 at your place. You're in Brazil, right?
Yeah. It's actually it's close to lunch.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, and the best time of the day.
Perfect. So we got it. We connected. So you're
Yeah.
a friend of Anna, right? Anna was a guest before you.
Yeah.
How do you guys know each other?
We have a Brazilian Discord server
Oh,
for
okay.
real-time effects.
Awesome.
So that's what we met. I before I think I am in the server for some time now. I think for some years now.
Yeah.
And before she went to the server, I was already like seeing her stuff on ArtStation because I'm the kind of person that goes to ArtStation every day and
Cool.
see what
Okay.
people were doing.
Awesome.
And um, I just like to follow VFX artists.
I have the same obsession with
So
LinkedIn. Like I want to look up VFX artists. I want to like invite them in, and I think she recommended you, and that's how we got to know each other. And that's really cool to have you on. I wanted to ask, like, when did you get into VFX art?
uh, I always love to talk about when I got to VFX artist because I have a pretty unique history because I'm from Brazil
Mm-hmm.
and I'm from the north of Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I have lived like really away from technology a little
Mm-hmm.
because the place that I have lived still don't have like cell phone sign
Oh,
those
really?
days.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I was not so much a game person,
Mm-hmm.
but when I entered the college, the university, I started to play some more games and have more access to internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I start to do my college. I hate. I want to drop college, and I have a colleague that want to work with games in my college.
Uh-huh.
Our course doesn't have nothing with games. Like I was doing design,
Mm-hmm.
and I have studied a lot of stuff in this course. And but my friend, he was like a real gamer. He was really good in games. He loves game. He wants to work in games, and he wants to work on Blizzard and those kind of stuff. And I was
Yeah.
like, "What are you talking about? We are like in the middle of the of the forest heap,
Yeah.
almost like
Yeah.
we are at nowhere." Like I
Mm.
was, I was thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started to get more involved with games, and I saw a video about game creation. To be honest, was a league video about how they create Zaya and Hakan,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the both character. I was like, I need to work with that. I want to be in this environment.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be in that place. I want to work with that kind of persons.
Yeah.
And I start to go to internet
Yeah.
and I buy like a subscription course that has a lot of stuff to do like Skillshare,
Yeah.
and I stud like 2D drawing. I stud programming with Unity. I stud
Okay.
modeling with 3D model and those kind of stuff.
Okay.
And at the time, I also start to like get engaged with the game scenario because actually my city has a game uh, scenario. I think that's how we call. Like we have people that do those kind of game jams and
Mm-hmm.
indie games,
Yeah.
and I start to talk with them, and I discovered that in my city has a game company,
Like in your
and I was
city,
like,
or
yeah,
so
in
you
my
discovered in your
city,
city that there was a game company, a game studio. That's awesome.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the game studio. And then when I discovered, I tried to enter in there, have a position there in all the position that they put on, like all the positions,
A true
all. If
generalist
they,
right there. Yes.
yeah, if they put like a 2D drawing
Cool.
position. I was like do some YouTube videos or
Yes.
part of the course that I have subscription and made something and applied.
Cool.
And I have happily I was able to get in with
Cool.
VFX.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
And since that I didn't change. And
Mm-hmm.
I think VFX has so much stuff to learn,
Yep.
so much stuff to do
Yep.
that it's almost impossible that you get bored. Like
Mm.
it's so much possibilities with VFX
Yep.
in style, in software, in ways of doing something.
Yeah.
And yeah, since that I have 5 years now. Actually, in March I complete 5 years of VFX
Congrats.
and
Wow. 5 years. That's
five
awesome.
years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you started.
Long story short,
Yeah.
that's it.
Wow. So 5 years after you were just playing around with a couple of different disciplinaries, and you probably wouldn't have gotten the job if you didn't like play around with like 2D art. You probably played around with programming a little bit in Unity, which is always needed for VFX. It's like the basic implementation stuff of like a character controller. Those are all needed for visual effects, like the vectors. So the more you learn about those things, the better you will be able to like implement your visual effects in a project. So it's like you said, you'll never get bored of it because it can always expand. You have to be almost 40% good at all the different disciplines, and you can always push one discipline more. That's what I love about visual
Yeah.
effects. It's the true generalist, uh, like skill, specialize or specialization skill that could get a generalist to land a job in a specialist environment. So yeah, I really 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 enjoy working with visual effects as well. Now the next question is, so 5 years. Did you work all in that studio all the time? Was there job insecurity in between? How did it work for you?
Uh, I think that I have passed 4 studios, maybe 5 studios, so almost one studio at year. And I think that it has a lot of instabilities. And I have a like a unique history because like this game company that
Mm-hmm.
was from the city that I was living. Uh, I made an internship in that with VFX and was almost a year. And when we end our project,
Mm-hmm.
that is this cyberpunk project that are in my station, they decide to close the studio because the studio was actually inside a research institute from Samsung.
Yep.
Uh, and they decide they don't want to have the game studio anymore. And this was like my first change of job.
Okay.
And then I went to another company that was not in my city, was in São Paulo. That is one of the biggest cities
How did you
here
feel
in.
to move your city? How did that feel?
I love it.
Cool.
I love it, but I like it a lot because in the north of the country we don't have access to a lot of stuff
Okay.
because a lot of stuff are in the big capital centers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we have some distance and access difficulties where I live because like where I live we have like roads, but the roads are not so good. So the main way to get there
Yeah.
is by plane or boat.
Yeah.
So we have those I think geographic situations.
Mhm.
And when I went to São Paulo, was like a really big city where everything happens, but I actually hate to live in São Paulo. I
Why
think
that? Why did you hate it?
I was living. to be honest, I was living like in one of them to live close to the office.
Yeah.
We were in the pandemic and we were remote,
Yeah.
but I was working close to the office because they give us some financial help to live more close to the office.
Yeah.
And they give us this financial help because it's like one of the most expensive neighborhoods of the city.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I was actually get a little sick about seeing so much opulence, so
Oh, okay.
much
Okay.
richness, and we have also a lot of private.
Private.
I don't know how to say.
Private?
Yeah, no. We have a lot of people with not so good financial situation.
A poor, like poverty? Yeah,
Yeah,
poverty.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
poverty.
In Brazil, you mean, yeah?
So
Yeah.
yeah, in São Paulo, the capital,
Okay, okay, yeah.
and I think that is something that has happens a lot of in capitals. We can see a lot of this.
The contrast, you mean, like this
Yeah,
stark.
that
Yeah,
contrast.
yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And I was not feeling so well there, and then I went to another city.
Yeah.
That is more small, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a smaller city.
Yep.
I'm the kind of person that likes to live in like uh, old neighborhood with older people and nothing's happening
Yeah.
because I'm the kind of person that just want to stay home and that's it.
Yes, I have the
Yeah.
same thing.
I,
So,
I
yeah.
I sorry, I forget what we are
No,
talking.
no, we were talking about how,
Uh,
the 5 years and
yeah,
job instability. So we can go back there.
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then I went to this company and it was a really cool. Was my first time working in English,
Cool.
and we
Completely in
have
English. Like
was
the
my
whole company was
completely.
okay. How was that? Was it
Yeah,
challenging?
was English
Yeah.
first, but we have a lot of Brazilians, so
Good.
we also talk a lot of Portuguese,
That's good.
but it was English first.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's like was really hard, but it's we see that we think people we judge us about
Mm.
our English,
Okay.
but most of the time when I have to talk especially with people that are not native in English,
Mm.
they are so nice.
Helpful.
They know
Yeah.
that, yeah, and they are helpful, they are understanding, they know that you are talking in another language to
Yeah.
communicate. So they help a lot.
Yeah.
I feel that, and I still feel that today.
That's good.
I think
I think it's important not just to be helpful, but also if someone makes a mistake, like just to correct in a polite way, you know, like a spelling that is wrong. Because I learned German, right? It's very rare to find people that will actually willing to correct you because it's considered impolite in like Austria where I live. So most people just don't do it. Like just the other day, I realized that the last 10 years I've been saying the wrong word all the time. If my wife did not correct me, I would have never known. And I was just like, oh wow, I've been saying the wrong word for the last 10 years. That's amazing. No one has corrected me. So
why nobody told me
exactly. Do you have the same with English? Sometimes you're like,
yeah, I have, because we are sometimes we can say something that we are not meaning to say that, but we just
yeah,
don't know how to spell right, because
yeah,
like in like the language pronounce the letters different, so it's
yeah.
helpful when someone it's give us this attention, I think.
Yeah.
And it
So
was really cool. Was
let's.
also the first.
Yeah, go ahead. Nada, go ahead.
I was I would say that it was also the first time that I have worked with a big team of effects artists. The first and the only time, because
Wow.
we were in 5 artists and
Wow.
was just me as girl, and the other artist was all men.
Yep.
But and with different levels of expertise, we have someone that was X
Right,
Riot
gives
was
it.
our principal VFX
Wow,
artist.
cool.
So we learned so much,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
was like a really cool time, I think.
Ah, this is awesome. I really wish to work within like a 5 people team one day because like right now until now I've only worked as the only visual effects artist. I'm not complaining, but like I'm really curious how much I would learn if I'm in a group of other visual effect artists. So like I wish me and you get to work one day. I really am excited about like an opportunity like that to come in the future. So I wanted to ask you, like, the first job you were the only visual effect artist, or were there other people too?
I was the only VFX artist, and I also got a lot of help from technical artists
Yeah,
that
yeah,
work in the company. So we have like one technical artist also,
yeah.
and I was the previous VFX artist off went to another country. That's why they was
Oh,
looking for someone
yeah.
in there in the city, and was not a remote work,
Mm.
so need to be in there in this.
So how was it like going to a company or like a studio with 5 others or 4 other visual effect artists? How was the shift
Yeah.
for you? How was this?
Uh, was really awesome. I think that was one of my best experience,
So cool.
just working with a lot of other VFX artists.
Yeah,
And I think that it also was really cool because we had someone that was ex Riot, and
yeah,
he was like applying a lot of Riot stuff, I would
yeah,
say, in
yeah.
there. So we have a lot of campfire meetings when we can
Wow.
just go there and chat and not talk about work, but talk about our interests in games and effects and those
Yeah,
kind of stuff. We had meetings so everyone we could show our work and get feedback
yeah.
from other VFX artists.
It's awesome.
And this was really cool. Was my own experience with
Yeah.
such a big team,
Mm,
and unfortunately, it came to an end.
mm.
Also because the other artists went go to another job. So
Mm.
one of them went to New Zealand to work on Path of Exile.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, the principal also got another job, so
Yep.
the team just went to break.
Hey, that's
And
the
I
industry.
went,
Like you come together, you build something awesome, and then you you just regroup at one point. Maybe like in 10 years, you get to work together, and it's like all this
yeah,
stuff that you built in the beginning is working
we
out.
have
Yeah.
a high rotation, I think, in our industry.
Yep.
Uh, and we also had a lot of layoffs the previous years. Like I
Yeah.
got a layoff,
Me too. Yeah.
was not, yeah, was not in that company. Was the company that I went next.
Yeah.
There was more indie company that got big, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
need to shrink
They got too big. They
after.
got too big too fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too big, too
It
fast.
happens. Yeah.
This has happened to me like I think 2 times or 3 times
Oh
maybe.
no.
And then I also I got the opportunity to work on an indie company that was also a really cool opportunity because
Hmm.
they were applying the 4-day week schedule.
Cool.
So this is like the best thing someone can work on is 4-day week. Like
Yeah.
we have we have an increase of quality of life so big, like it's
Mm-mm.
really different.
You
I
also
wish I could
become
like,
more productive, right? You get more stuff done because you have like
yeah,
that one
because
day off, yeah, to recharge.
we actually we reduce 1 day on the week, but we keep all the same deadlines.
Exactly.
So we
Yeah.
need to have everything done at that time, and I think that everyone put a lot of effort to make it happen.
It's sometimes not the time you put, but the stuff you can tackle. How many tasks can you tackle a day? And if you could tackle those, with 4 days, then you could tackle those with 4 days. And if you need a day in between to charge up your batteries, then you just do that. I think we're like just educated to work hours, and it's like, what's the benefit of me sitting on my desk? I have no energy to work, and just stare at my screen for 5 hours and maybe work 2 hours. There's no one's gonna benefit from that. It's just a systematic thing.
Yeah.
If you're smarter, I love to work with indies. That's my thing. It's my passion. I don't like. I don't. I'm not impressed by AAA. I'm just not impressed. They could still hire me, but I'm not like super hungry to be in AAA. Like a lot of artists establish their portfolio to work on a AAA, and I'm like, you know what? I'm fine establishing my portfolio and targeting indie studios, like working only with open source programs. You kind of need to find a way, if you're not the best of the best, to still market yourself as hireable for a specific group or
Yeah.
a specific project. That's how I operate. I like to only show stuff that are open source, that are made from like programs that you don't have to pay for smaller companies. Um, that's like the concept of a generalist. Like I can do a lot of things, so having me on the team will be a beneficiary for like a small team. Maybe not as much for a
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
team, but for a small, like you said, you were the visual effects artist. You were the only visual effect artist on the whole team. You were still able to produce the effects. But again, like it's awesome to work with like 5 other visual effects artists, and it's like you just gonna learn so much. So yeah, I wish that's something will be like my next adventure in visual effects artist. Anyway, back to you.
I forget I was talking about.
Same.
Sorry, I do
So we were talking
I do
about.
that.
I think we were talking about like the third job that you had.
Yeah, the third job that
An
was an indie company.
indie company.
I those yeah in those days I feel that I didn't get to, how can I say, have the best from that time. I could not like be my best at
Mm-hmm.
that time,
Yeah.
and but I'm also think that like right now I'm a person that would use a lot of that for a day, like those time to study and produce and get better at my art.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time I was not so much that person. I was just doing my work and that's it. I was
Yeah.
not able so much to do much after work. But I think that also this is also a process. Like I am only able to study more and do more stuff after work today because I have passed for that process
Mm.
of uh, get ready to to like get better. I think get
Yeah.
ready to get better.
Yeah.
And and I think that it's a learning. It's a so extensive process. I'm learning. I'm doing a course about drawing,
Yeah.
and I see a lot of stuff about
Mm-hmm.
learn how to draw
Yeah.
that can be applied in learn how to do effects
Mm-hmm.
in real time effects. And I have see someone talking about how learning is not something that it's not like a straight line.
Yeah.
So it's like a spiral that you are going to pass at the same concepts in the first time, and then we go to uh, get around, and we are going to find that same subject again, but you have now more knowledge to
Wow.
understand better and see it better. And
That's
I
such a good example.
I think now that I'm older and that time has passed, I can see that like at that time I had a lot of free time that I could use to learn, but I was not prepared
Yeah.
to put put in that place to learn
Mm-hmm.
and grow. And I actually have to get this time. And I think this is happening a lot of my time in my life because when I start college, like in 2016, I my one of my first subjects on the college was drawing observation,
Yep.
and I was like, I hate. I was on Friday. I went to the teacher, and I was like, I hate Friday because I have this class. And the teacher is was like my friend. He just think this is funny,
Yeah.
but it took me like almost, it took me 9 years to
Yeah.
be able to like understand uh how drawing working,
Yeah.
and how I need to not be so critical about what I'm doing, because in drawing people say a lot. You need to make like 1,000 terrible drawings to make
Mm-hmm.
like one good drawing. So it's about the process. It's about practice.
Yep.
And I think VFX is a little about that. You need to start and do ugly stuff. You can
Yep.
think it's ugly. Other people can probably think that it's not ugly, because I everything that I have on art stage, I just think it's garbage. So a lot of time, but I think that it's just artists being an artist.
Yeah,
They
it's
always
true.
doesn't like what they do.
Yeah.
So
If we do, we will never improve.
yeah, and we have to accept not be perfect,
Yep.
not do the best work. We have to accept that we need to practice, and
Yep.
that practice doesn't need to be like a best piece
Yep.
of the portfolio that you can have. You can just do to learn and get involved in that practice.
Honestly, I think a
And
lot
I
of people
think
are
that,
like too involved into like what they want to make, and like it takes time to get there. Like you have to go through the stairs to get up there. That they just don't even start. Like if
yeah,
your goal is to be that perfect visual effects artist, like you need to put at least at the very least 5 minutes time of your day, and the first effect's gonna suck. That's a given, right?
yeah. I think we uh, like that's the superpower that I think that the humans
Yeah.
can have.
Yeah.
Like they can learn,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that you start something and will be awesome.
Yeah.
It will probably not be awesome, but if you keep working on that uh, and practice, you get better eventually.
There's a saying. It goes like this: perfect is the enemy of good. So if you
Yeah,
only care about perfections, you're probably never gonna be good. And if you
and
just yeah, go ahead.
no, you could
No,
finish.
yeah, I was just rambling, so you go ahead. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I think that we saw a lot of awesome artists, and we have access so incredible people doing incredible stuff, and we don't see like the whole picture. We don't see how much time they put to get in there,
Mm.
and we want to like in 1 year have the same result that people that have spent 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years
Yeah,
of craft.
have you struggled with this? Did you go through this?
Ah, yeah. Every time I see something beautiful
Mm.
on on art station, I think, and sometimes it's also hard when you see someone that has like less experience and
Yeah.
just do a better work than you. But I think that we have space to like almost every artist. And in the VFX field, we probably always have space. We always need
Mm.
people.
Yep.
Like 5 years later, VFX was something that was already needing people. And in 2025, we already have a lot of company needing people,
Mm.
because we don't have enough like we are not a saturated record. No. I forget the word. But we are not saturated with artists. We have spaces to uh, every type of artist. You don't need to be like the most better one
The
in
best,
that
yeah.
has the best posts on
Yeah.
ArtStation. This doesn't it means something because you are being seen,
Mm.
but it doesn't mean so much like in sometimes in a day to day. We have a lot
Yeah.
of artists that doesn't even have ArtStation. I have worked with a lot of
Yeah.
VFX artists that they just don't
Yep.
have ArtStation.
Yeah. I think big thing is with when it comes to our work and our field is if you can make amazing visual effects, cool. Okay. Are you a cool person to work with? If yes, amazing. I want to work with you. B, are you a good communicator? No, I don't want to work with you. Yes, I want to work with you. Why? Because we need to implement our effects, and sometimes you get a list of 80 effects. If you want to bring all those 80 effects to the level of your ArtStation post, which might have taken you a whole year, that's not a real problem solving. So I believe that's why there's always room of improvement. That is why uh, uh, doesn't mean that the best work equals the best hire. You know, does it make sense?
Yeah, yeah, and it's in a lot of times you are not doing like in day to day. You are not doing your best visual, your best effects work. You are doing something that
Yep.
needs to be delivering that time.
Yes.
Whatever how it looks
Yep.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It needs to have like the minimum to be delivered at that
Yep.
time.
You
I
need to
have
ship.
worked a lot of
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, we need to ship.
You
We
need
need
to
to
ship.
ship.
Yep.
And a lot of time we don't have so much time to polish things and get like really in details.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the companies just change what they are needing while you are working something. So you are working something and they are going, we don't need that anymore. We need to go to another thing. So just keep that the way it is and
That's a great point.
move on.
Sometimes you create a system, like a whole graph or a whole Niagara system, particle system, and you must always work keeping in mind that you, even if they say no to that you could use parts of it. None of the work that we do should be disposable because we can always, as visual effect artists, take one element or two from that one particle that maybe we ended up not using and use it for a different effect. Usually in our industry, you know, when you start, you have those 100 lists of effects. If you don't have any systems to work with, it's very difficult. So the very first phase is that you start the very first phase is that you start with um, making the systems. Once that's done, then you start creating the concepts. That's how I work at least. You might have worked differently, but I'm explaining how I work. I start creating the concepts in Engine. Some people create the concepts with 2D art. I do it in Engine because I need to show the most realistic deliverable. Because I could draw it for
Yeah,
hours, but if it's not gonna be delivered at the same like visual, then it's not a concept. It's I'm telling you a lie. I'm giving you a lie. I'm not gonna deliver that. So for me, it's important to do the concepting in Engine. Why? Because I'm creating the systems. They don't have to be perfect. Like if I have one explosion system, I have smoke system, I have poof system, I have hit effects. I have so many effects now created just because I created one system.
sparks.
Sparks, whatever it is, like you just switch the mesh, puts that. Now we're going too much into the industry, but like you get it, right? Like the moment you create the
Yeah.
systems, you could reuse again. Then you start once the concepting is done, you start creating it, and once creating is done, you have to implement it, and then it's in the game. That's a very important stage of the progress. It's in the game does not mean finalized. Yeah, in the game means it's in the game. I have my obliged contract deal is to put my effects in the game. So you at least have put that thing in the game. Once it's in the game, then you get feedback, and once you get feedback, you can put that feedback to the polish phase of the project. A lot of people spent so much time into one effect, and it's like you kind of need to let go because you still have a lot of systems to create, right?
Yeah. And you have said a lot of points that I think that it's really cool because I also is someone that like to start concept direct in engineering. Uh, I feel I like a lot to have like a concept of effects,
Mm-hmm.
but when we have a concept of effect, we don't have so much answers about it.
True.
We just have like briefly the ideal visual,
Yeah.
but when you but it's a static image. When you need to put that image into motion,
Yep.
this brings a lot of complexities
Yes.
to the work. Sometimes something is looking beautiful on the concept, like, oh, these effects looks really awesome in the concept, but to bring them to life and put motion
Mm-hmm.
on that, it's really complex. And you add put motion on that, and also make something that is communicating gameplay
Mm-hmm.
correctly. Like some time ago, I have to do a fact that was like a slash fire.
Mm-hmm.
That and the concept was a slash fire,
Mm-hmm.
but in the gameplay, the slash fire was not something that was tricky. So was really slow and going. So how
Mm-hmm.
do you put all these to work together, I
Mm-hmm.
think. And also something like when we implementing a skill is not sometimes like in fact it's not the final of
Yeah.
that skill, and
Exactly.
design will change a lot
Mm-hmm.
that skill. So if you polish too much, it just one day design was like, oh, we changed this ability, it's not like that anymore, we need to redo everything.
Listen,
And
like
I
that's
also
that's the
think,
thing about our work. We need to be perfect communicator. Like we have to communicate all the time. We have to communicate across different departments. We have to be able to talk to the tech people, right? We have to be able to talk to the tech leads and tell them, hey, I have 3 different effects here. Each one acts differently. One is a bullet, it's point A to point B. One is a status effect, that means, once it has enough poison, it gets poisoned, right? The third one is like a beam effect. It goes from point A to point B and it stays there for a second. If you do this early on, tell the programmers, hey, I need hooks for that so I can implement it, and I need ways to polish it. Like, can you give me a timer there, a timer here? How can I polish it? How can I even test it? Give me the tools early on, and let me do a whole cycle of that production. So let me do one small effect, create like let's take a bullet. Just take the bullet, make it perfect, right? It's not hard of effect, right? And if you do all the way to implementation, you have already made a whole cycle. You already know where things are, which prefabs to work with, or which blueprints to work with, where to put the things. You connected with the programmers. Maybe you had a problem or two, you fixed them, and now they know for your next effect what is to be expected, right? And we also need to communicate with the art lead and the creative direction because our work has something to do with game design and game feel. Our work has also to do with visuals, right? So that's why communication is very important in our work. We need to be perfect communicators. So even with concepting, if you have a team and you have an art director with like a strong vision, it's okay to ask that art director to give you a simple concept. Sit down with your art director and with your creative director. Your job is important. Don't shy away. Like your job is very important. You need to get those effects to the perfect level. And the best way to do that for the game, for the sake of the game, is to sit down, have 30 minutes meeting, just 30 minutes, talk about each and every effect and ask them how they envision it. Just have like the art director, if they have time, to just sketch something very simple. Whatever it is, you do your best. That's it.
yeah, we need to seek for the information a
Yeah.
lot. Like, to be honest, all the companies that I have worked, it's a little mess. We don't have enough documentation. We don't have
Yeah.
enough process, and sometimes we have too much process. So it's
Mm.
always complicated, and I think effects are one of the most important communicators inside the game.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of some and a lot of time effects are not seen as the first stage of stuff. Sometimes effects are something that is more on the last stage, something that is more polished for the project. But I don't agree so much with that, because we actually need to be really involved with design
Mm.
and really involved with programmer to see what like we will be good for performance. We don't have just the visual part. We need to
Yeah.
think in
Yeah.
performance, in communicate right, and be scalable,
Yeah.
and a lot of variables, I think.
I think that you need to be on the project early enough. Not like the earliest. We don't need to be there, honestly. But like early enough. Um, but then also late enough so when the optimizing is kicking in, you could solve the problems. Why? You have access to all the Photoshop files, to all the textures. You have access to all like the files themselves if you need to change them, right? You have access to all the Blender file, the Maya files that you created to create the meshes. And you know how you structured your whole thing. So instead of having 4 weeks of optimizations where the programmers are just putting their work in trying to understand what you worked on, you have probably just 1 more week of your time or 2 more weeks or maybe a month of your time makes everybody's job easier, right? Just you being there with the optimization. Because honestly, no one can predict the future. No one of us VFX artists, even the highest people of real time VFX artists, cannot predict what will be optimized or not, or would perform well or not. You know how many platforms like a game is getting shipped to? 1 billion,
A lot.
like so many, and each one has its own thing. And it's like it's really good if you keep your visual effects artist for a long time because you would need that because it will cut your time. Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with your sentiment. It's such an amazing discussion we're having because it's like the heart of what we do, and like we don't hear
Yeah,
that much. We don't have real time visual effect events that you could go to or like our own GDC, and I kind of wish that we had our own GDC, and I kind of want to like organize that. I wanna have like that place where we all can go to, have different visual effect artists explain their workflow, the issue that they had to go through, what would they do different now if they started, and where to learn. Like I would wish for that event to exist, and I kind of want to like organize that at one point.
yeah. I think that we are getting a bigger community
Yeah.
on those last years. So in the future, this is probably be possible.
Yeah, probably possible, I guess. I think since it's not been done much, maybe it's been done once, like locally somewhere, but I kind of wish, like, even sound effects people, which do very important work like we do, have meetups. They do have meetups. They do have regular check-ins about their work, and they are kind of united in a way. I wish that was the case for us because we do music, but visually. That's what we do, honestly. And like the strongest sense in a human being is uh, the sight. Then it's the hearing. Those are the two strongest senses that we have. And so in a game, you kind of need to touch the senses, right? The most important ones, at least. And I feel like me, as a visual effect artist, I am I must team up with sound effects artists. Sometimes, even if you hear an effect before working on it, you could kind of imagine how it would look like, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of in VFX instructors that say about the importance of the sound, and uh, we need to make sounds like to
Yeah.
understand a little of the effect. But I think that it's a way to also better visualize time, because I think that's what we are talking about. We are talking time and how this timing is feeling. And I think that in sound that's the same. It's about the timing of
Mm,
this of the sound and
yeah.
how it translates.
But also like when
I
when
think
when sound effects people need to implement their work on a project, it's kind of similar. The triggers of
yeah.
when the sound should play and when the effects should play are similar. So on the project that I'm working on, the sound effect people came in a bit later. So I had worked on the effects for like 3 months and then they came in. And so I told them, listen, let's think about it like a circle like this. You'll implement those effects, the sound effects, and I'll implement those visual effects, right? At one point, you have implemented most of your effects that I could use them to implement my effects because the logic is there. And when I'm done with those, you could implement your sound effects to them. And then we're done. So we kind of helped each other on a tight schedule to get things done.
Yeah, I feel that sound effects and VFX artists almost put in the same group in some
Yeah.
companies. I have worked in some companies that the sound effects and the VFX was just one department, and were like, because we are a small team, so just group those those teams to they can talk more with each other and have a bigger sense of group, because I think that it's really important. We game developing is really about like connecting with people
Yep.
also, with your group. When you have a team that get a good connection,
Mm-hmm.
they feel more comfortable to
Mm-hmm.
be around and also ask questions and those kind of things. And sometimes we have departments that are really big, like 3D or
Mm.
2D concept,
Mm-hmm.
and they really get together. And sometimes with effects artists that they have so much space, then we group with sound effects or UI and
Yeah.
designs guys.
We complete each other in a way like we're needed in a lot of the aspect of the game, but there's a special relationship with sound effects people because we kind of complete each other. Ain't no effect gonna exist or would be as satisfying without having the sound of it. Like imagine a sparks. If the sparks like simulating like electricity or something, imagine if it just doesn't do psh, like it just looks cool and it's like yeah I get it, but like where's the sound? It's been great talking to you and thanks for showing up. Is there anything you would like to still talk about, your portfolio or anything?
Uh, I, I'm the kind of person that always say no when someone asks if I have something to say more. um, I'm just a lot of grateful to being able to participate. I hope I could contribute with something.
Yeah.
I feel that it's really cool your project. I
Thank you.
think that is really important to people to see another experience, another uh, lives, another type of people getting there, and it's not like in the same way we all have a unique story in how we could get into games and
Yep.
why we go to games. So I think this helped a lot. This is something that I have said to Anna. I was like, "Whoa, it's so cool to see your history
Mm-hmm.
and what you have been doing and what the place you have came. I think it's came.
Yeah.
The place you got now.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that process. Is essentially for people that it's starting.
Mm.
uh, I think that I have something that I like a little more to say, is that I really appreciate this community. I really appreciate. I think this is what make me also stay so much time and also want to be more time because I never seen other fields this kind
Yeah.
of community.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago,
Hmm.
we doesn't even have like big schools of FX. Like VFX Apprentice was really small
Yeah.
at the time,
Yeah.
and was also really it's already like for a Brazilian person, it's expensive. Was
Yeah.
expensive
Yeah.
before. It's already expensive,
Mm.
but we don't need to go to something like VFX Apprentice to be a valuable artist
No.
or to learn something.
No.
I have learned so much from Gabriel Aguirre
Yeah.
that has a lot of
Free tutorials.
tutorials, free
Yeah.
tutorials, and I think this the free content and the access that we have with VFX artists, I feel that VFX artists are really open to share knowledge
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
more than other fields, more
That's
than other
like
fields.
that is what's motivating me to make that, like, to organize an event for just real-time visual effects artists, because of this willingness, because of the community and all those people that can relate to each other. Like, we kind of are all generalists. We kind of are all kind of good in something, and we put those skills together, and boom, we have magic. We make magic, right? And the results are so satisfying, right? And you could do so many variants of them, and so it's always rewarding to make a new variant of an effect. It's always rewarding to make a new effect, make a new color. Oh, it's new, looks good, cool. A little bit playing with the times. There's always something new that you can make, and there's always an area to improve. So it's kind of this trap for generalists to get into, because you can always get better. You could always get better in drawing. You can always get better in 2D frame by frame. You can always get better at modeling. You can always get better at Houdini or the other tools, whatever it is, even
Yeah,
just scripting and getting into game development, it's all there. It's all in visual effects. And games since the beginning been using visual effects. You know, what, like when Mario transfers or eats a star or whatever.
yeah.
I've never played Mario, so I don't know.
We we were not just we don't have I think a title
Yeah,
and a specific track like we were
yeah,
one we before we don't have like VFX artists,
yeah,
but we already have people that make VFX
yeah,
and was working with VFX, but
yeah,
was we just don't have like the title and that is a specific career, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And I just love to be in that space with so much cool people. Like when I start, I think Jordan for real time effects just sent me on ArtStation saying, "Hey, we have this forum." I was already in the forum, but
cool,
he was like, "Hey, we have the real time VFX forum, and
nice,
we have the Discord.
yeah,
Come to Discord." And I have also been this person because we have the Brazilian Discord,
yeah,
and I have like every time I see someone that is starting or that had something with VFX, I was like, "Hey, we have this Brazilian Discord serve if you want to get in."
mm,
And I think that this is something really cool. It's something that I want to uh, being able to
you said it
contribute,
right, contribute,
contribute,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, contribute when I could have more knowledge and also to share. I already have some little knowledge that I can help someone, but I want to continue keep that work. And I think that's why your work is so
thank
important
you,
to be the person that are there uh, 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 putting yourself to be seen and also to help uh, other people, because when we are putting ourselves in that position, we are being seen, but we are also helping a lot of people to get visibility
yeah.
on that field,
I mean,
and this
that's the
really
goal, right? I don't look for people to be on the podcast that are the highest senior, most beautiful like work out there on ArtStation. That's not my goal. My goal is like, let's highlight people that are made it to some degree, or trying to make it, or getting they're improving even, or from a different background. Maybe it's a woman visual effect artist. Why if I would just focus on the seniors, I would have maybe 50 men and probably just one woman, you know? And that is nothing against like the women's skill in VFX, but there aren't so many real-time VFX artists that are women,
Yeah,
you know?
we have less women in the industry overall, I think.
Yeah,
And
generally, true. And like on
yeah,
LinkedIn, for example, I was literally looking for real-time visual effect artists, and out of like 100 pages with each like 20 accounts per page, I think I found 20 accounts that were like visual effects artists that are women, amazing art. I reached out to all of them, and I think I think 13 of them said that they don't think they're ready. Like they don't have the confidence to think that they're ready, and that is fine. That is fine to be. Um, the world is ready for you. Like I'm just saying to all the women out there who are doing visual effects or generalist artists or tech artists, like the world is ready for you. Um, don't let like sexism get in the way. The world is ready for you. Let's. It doesn't matter how good you are in English or how good you are in visual effects or not. You're not the best. Like, let's put perfectionism aside.
yeah,
We want to hear your story. Yeah.
you don't have to have like 20 years working on AAA games to be a valuable
Yeah.
woman in the industry. You don't
Absolutely.
need to have like a huge amount of experience to have reasonable stuff to say
Yeah.
or to be heard.
Yeah.
If,
I agree. Everybody deserves to be heard, and I think like most junior uh, visual effects artists that I like invited that were men all said yes. That's like, yeah, like come on,
yeah,
let's just talk.
why not?
You know.
Yeah,
Anyway, like I can get a no for an answer. It doesn't matter, but like I feel that women need to be a bit more bold, like with applying to jobs. I'm not. I don't care about my podcast, but if that is keeping you away from like getting what you're worth, like paid wise and
yeah,
like job wise, like level. I mean, like seriously, what you do is amazing, and please like believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one will believe in you. That's
yeah,
that's the end of
yeah.
it. All right, let's leave it at here.
I
Thank you for joining. It's been an hour. I usually stop at an hour, and
okay,
maybe
okay.
we do it again.
No, if you let, I will keep just talking, talking, talking.
No worries. Thank you everybody for joining. If you liked it, leave a like and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this. Follow Crisley, right? So did I say it right? Yes.
Yeah,
Follow her on ArtStation. I'll leave the link below. And subscribe. Consider it. It will help the channel. Commenting also helps the channel, and the likes. I don't know. It's just YouTube stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one, which will be soon. Bye, everybody.
bye.
Bye.